something that has clean traffic, something that presents clean traffic well. Because for us to trade properly, right, we need clean traffic. That's the number one thing that we're concentrating on. And then the good structure would be very nice to have also. So for this one, it has always been in an uptrend. And that's something that I really don't like, because if price has always been in an uptrend, right, and it keeps making dips like this, which is fine, that's how the structure is created, right, but we don't really know how this dip will, like how long it would take.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's most of like let's say we found, like, for right now, if I were to go on my 4-hour time frame, if I were to go on my 1-hour time frame or 4-hour time frame, let's say 4-hour time frame, we do have let's say left shoulder, then we could say this might be our head, giving us a right shoulder in price broke neckline, right, for it to drop. But I mean, as much as it's showing us clean, a good selling structure right now, right, we don't really know how far it would drop. Could even say it's giving us an M formation, which is a really good pattern to trade, a very good reversal pattern to trade, but I don't really know how long it would fall, because from the clean traffic and the consolidation that it made when it made this up move, right, this is the only area that would be waiting for it to break, right, and then this is the next range, of which it's not that much of a big range for it to cause a big rejection. Same as the next one and the next one. So the only area we would say would cause a reversal would be around here, and that looks like a very big drop. And if I was to go on my daily right now, that would be around here, right? And this is a full correction of this move, and this is one of the biggest drops or biggest dips that price has made. So I wouldn't expect it to make that much of a dip, unless if price is still consolidating or doing whatever it's doing around this area. But it's very risky to trade it. If we are looking to trade both buying and selling, it would be best to only look for buys, swing trades only, buy swing trades only. However, my question is, what if you were to buy here, right? And then it turns out that price is rejecting it. I mean, price breaks, right? And then it keeps falling. Since we don't really know how far it would fall, then you can't really risk holding your buy trade. Since it's a swing trade, some people are willing to hold it for a little bit longer so that price can act out and then reverse into their direction. So it's things like that that like make me not want to trade this pair.
Okay.
So I mean, looking at the 1-hour time frame, I mean, it's still the same thing for me. I mean, it tries sometimes, but then it also consolidates very well, and the small candles are a lot. Very tiny candles. Let's go with pound Swiss. All right. I actually really like this pair. This is a very nice pair to trade, especially if you're able to get nice entries on the right highs and the right lows. This is a very nice pair to trade because it's similar to pound yen. You know how we use pound USD to also look at pound yen? It's very similar. It's the same thing. But with pound Swiss, right? I think Swiss should be on right now because it's now different. Pound yen is off. We're only using pound, but I think pound Swiss is on right now. But the thing is, Swiss never really causes anything that much in the pair. It's only once in a while that you actually get it causing some kind of reaction. So the pair normally moves on pound only, which is an advantage to us because if we are seeing bullish pressure in pound or bearish pressure in pound, when we're looking at pound USD, right, we can use that to trend pound yen. So we'll come here because Swiss doesn't really react or to anything or cause much, right? We look if the structure is similar to what we're seeing on pound USD, and if we're seeing strong bullish pressure, then we know it's going to rise, and if it's bearish pressure, it normally drops. It's a very good pair to trade. So, I would say on market structure, it does produce market structure once in a while. It also has a habit of creating very tiny candles, these tiny candles. But market structure, it does show market structure here and there. Like for example, right now, we can say price was in an uptrend, right? And then it created a high, it gave us a new high. So we can say price created an M formation, right, with our support right here. Price broke, and then it created a new low. So if this price manages to stay below this or resistance for now, but we're retesting this support, right? If it manages to stay below and we see price coming back down here, we could actually see this pair drop all the way to this low. So since we are expecting it to drop, I would very much like to see in case if price doesn't actually break, let's put our support so that we know which areas we're talking about. Talking about this support, right? Price needs to retest this. It rejected yesterday, so hopefully it will hold. So I want to see if price does break in, does break back in, right? What's the next area, or what's the area that it can get rejected? And probably this area right here. So probably price could make the dip out to make people think that it's going back all the way to the top, but then reject this high, and then we can see price drop. So I'm actually gonna write that down. Sell limits right there.
Wait, I'm also gonna write that down.
Yeah.
Sell limits around 1.28865, right?
Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
What if it breaks that level? Is the will there be a chance that it can go up to 1.30445 because of the clean traffic on the left side?
Yes, very much.
Okay.
High chances it would actually do that. So I'm trying to see if price, because if we really do look at the daily market structure, right? Even if we were to place our trend line sort of, let's see on the weekly time frame. The weekly time frame price is up. What's interesting is there's a high right here, right? And then price rejected. It had very nice bullish pressure, right? And then started having small candles, and then we had one.
Big
That's
drop.
it. That's a very nice engulfing candle right there. Now that's what I call an engulfing candle. Ooh, that is nice. So looking at this candle, right, we would only expect price to drop or maybe retrace a little bit to come back to maybe 50% or 60, what is it, 61.8 or even 76%. And if I go on my weekly, on my on my 4 hour time frame, right? I would say this is around 50. This is around 50 and 61.8% should be 50 somewhere here or 6 or even right here, right? That means we might find around 61.8 around here and 76 around here. So if we go back on the daily, this was support that was broken, right? And to confirm that price did reject yesterday, that means if this kind of breaks above, right, it could be doing that thing where we get price breaking above, right, only to come back below. So it tricks people to buy into buying and takes out their stop losses, because I'm pretty sure people had their sell limits right here. So they might want to check out those stop losses before they push price lower. So
Mm-hmm.
if they are going to try and take out those stop losses, the only other area that doesn't have clean traffic is this one. So I can only expect price to come to this range right here before it pushes lower. But if it then breaks this range, right, then we can expect price to keep pushing up to our resistance, to our high.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Let's just look at the weekly for a sec. Because this is actually a very, like, if you really want to swing trade, or if you want like pairs to swing trade, I would definitely suggest this one also. It's a very good pair. On the weekly, not month structure, monthly. All right, monthly price is in a downtrend. Now that makes sense. Look at this. Price was
Mm-hmm.
falling, right? We have a downtrend that's happening right here, right? We have noticed that. And then we have this week. So price dropped, probably came back to retest this, right? But then it pushed higher, right? So probably price attempted to make a weak fill right here. So if this month candle closes below the low of last month's candle, right, we will definitely see price continuing with the drop. Especially with the fact that we have clean traffic right here. So we definitely have price dropping to around here and around here,
Mm-hmm.
possibly.
But that's only if the monthly candle
Closes below.
closes below. Okay.
Yeah, but because if it doesn't close below, right, probably it will complete the weak fill. Yeah. If it doesn't close below, then it will complete the weak fill. So I think this week should really push price lower. If this week pushes price lower, the rest of the last weeks, right, will probably push price to even break the low of so that area we have our sell limits, we really should watch out for it if price pushes to that area.
All right.
Yeah. All right, so that's our confirmation. On the 1 hour time frame, we're just saying price could break this to go to that next high. If it does not break this, then we can catch ourselves when price breaks this low. So when price breaks this low, we can catch ourselves to, let's say, first take profits right here, and second take profits right here, and then keep that one trade to see if we can catch that whole monthly move,
Mm-hmm.
because it might actually follow through. So I would very much like to see that happen. So I want to look out for that. So what we would want to see, right, for us to catch this breakout, right, if we don't want to enter after it have already broken out, right, what we want is we want price to actually break this low. So I'm not really concerned that much with this low or this area, right? Because price was falling, and instead of continuing with the fall, right, it started creating higher lows. So that means all I need is two supports to be broken, right, for price to continue in that direction. So if we're willing to risk it, then the moment price creates a strong bearish candle that covers this area and closes up below this area, right, we can actually enter risky trades with some considerable good stop losses. But we also know that price is not going to break this low instantly because we are entering in a range. So we have to give price all the time it needs to play around in this area before it drops completely. But we were just looking out to get an early good entry, because we might not be there to catch when price breaks this low, or it might, we just don't want a late entry. But when price breaks this low, that will be our full confirmation.
Mm-hmm. So I can set two sell stops, right? At the risky entry and at the other entry at 1.27485.
Yes, you can. You can.
Okay.
So when you're watching out price, waiting for it to like fulfill your sell stop, right? All you have to do is keep in mind that price needs to close below this low. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
If it closes below, if it closes below this low, right, and it starts playing around this range, it's a good area to enter as long as it does not go above the low, this low, and above this high.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm writing that down. Okay.
Yeah, so as long as price does not go above this range, price will fall. Yes. Ooh, that was nice. All right. Now let's look at, what was the other one?
Oh, Cat Swiss was the other one.
Which one was that? Oh, Cad Swiss. All right, all right. This is a complex pair. I'm not a big fan of this pair, but it looks nice. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this pair. So this is what I try to avoid.
Oh yeah, it's only range.
Yeah, it's only ranging. It's more for people who like to swing trade. When you're positioning trade, yeah, it's complicated. All right.
Yeah, maybe we can just skip it.
All right. Let's do USD Swiss. This pair is actually a good pair to trade if you follow DXY. Because it actually does very similar. For me, it's like 90% sometimes. It's very similar, the structure. If you are to compare it with DXY, right, they do the same exact thing. Or not exact, but very, very similar. So let's see what it has in store for us. This is weekly. But then, if you're trading this pair, right, it's also good to watch out for fake outs. You can see this. These are fake outs. See right here? That's a fake out. Fake out. Fake out. Fake out. It's very similar to DXY. Fake out.
So many fake outs.
Yeah. So I used to want to actually learn how to trade this pair. I actually see it as it was a potential good pair for me. However, the fake out and the market structure, it really doesn't have any market structure, to be honest. It's like USD yen. It's very similar to USD yen, but let's look at the monthly time frame.
Oh,
Just want to see something. The monthly time frame. It was ranging tiny candles. Okay, let's look at the 1 hour. Does have clean traffic, nice clean traffic. But then here's why I'm saying it doesn't really have structure. You see how it makes a drop, right? It retraces, makes a drop, retraces, makes a drop, retraces. So it's more of, it's not really structure because we can't really use it. Because if we were to analyze this, I know that it dropped, it retraced about, I'll say 76 of the move. So what we'll probably be doing is we look for a nice place to sell. Let's look at the 4-hour time frame. Look at the 4-hour time frame, right? Look for a place to sell. Let's say we manage to catch a sell here. Would probably just be adding more positions as it retraces, drops, retraces, drops, retraces, drops, retraces, drops, retraces. So I don't know how you feel about swing trading. I would swing trade this pair, which would be hard though. Can we also skip this one?
yeah, sure.
There isn't really anything, to be honest. I think it's, you'd look for a low like right now. If I'm looking at the daily, considering that price, we have support right here, and it looks like it's rejecting that support. We figure out that it pushes and then drops, pushes and then drops. So I'm saying maybe this was 1, 2, probably 3, 4, 5. Okay, so if this is 5, I'm gonna look at the weekly. Just gonna look at the weekly quickly. Okay, the weekly looks like it's doing an uptrend. All right, back on the daily. So the weekly looks like it's doing an uptrend, right? That means if the weekly looks like it's doing an uptrend, this could be 1. So this could be retracing for 2 to give us 3. So since this period retraces almost completely the home, I would expect it to reject around here. All right, having that in mind, so what did it do now? So we have our first impulse. We could get 2, right? And then we get 3, maybe 3, 4, 5, and then we get the reversal. Okay, all right. So, wait, did you understand that?
Yeah.
Okay,
It looks so easier if you do it though.
all right. So, let's say that was our reversal, right? That's the reversal we expect. So now we know that price is dropping, but right now it could push higher for it to give us that retracement and then the entry. So we are looking for where we're saying our target is. Our target would be around this area, this support and this one, these two. That's our final target, but we can also take profits right here. So I'm gonna go on the 4-hour. Now let's look for an area where we can expect price to reverse. If price does push higher, where can we expect it to reverse? I'm going to say probably, let's count the Elliott waves again. So I do not even know how to count this one. Ooh. Using Fibonacci, would expect price to retrace to around here, right? But price made clean traffic here. Price made clean traffic here, right? Price made clean traffic here. So this tells us that this is when the bearish trend started, right? And this is when it was still strong. So they got most of their profits here. So price still dropped, but you can see that the corrections here are not as big and complete as the corrections down here. So these corrections became bigger. That means most of their money was out of the market, and this was just child play to push price lower. So if it's like that, then I can expect price to retrace and hit this area where the trend started getting weak. Because if it breaks this area, right, then it only has to break this next resistance for price to keep on pushing higher. So I would have even sell limits around here in case if price breaks this resistance, right? That means price is dipping into this area. If it dips into this area with clean traffic, high chances it could reach this next high. So our first sell limits would be here. If it rejects that, then we can expect price to come back to this level. And then from this level, if it breaks this level, then we know we are now waiting for price to give us buying entries because the trend has changed. So I think for someone who's trading this pair, right? For us, we are looking for swing positions. We'll put our sell limits on those two areas. But for someone who'd like to enter a trade right now, price looks like, let's say we had a, let me use that line. Let's say we had a trend line here. Because I don't really have good market structure on this area right here. So I'm gonna use this trend line that's telling us that price is dropping, right? Our next resistance is right here. And that's where we have confluence that if price breaks, it's definitely and most likely going to reach our sell limit area. That because we have two confirmations already. The break would be like the third confirmation. So how about now? For now, for someone who actually wants to trade this pair today, I actually think it is a good a good structure going on right now. So oh, this is too easy. Well, price made a low, right? And what I like about this low is this low was not touched. It was retested here and price made a new low. And then it pushed higher again and made another low. And it ranged and it pushed again. Now it's ranging. So all we need is if price dips to this low and it rejects here, I would actually buy with my targets around this area. That's beautiful. Yeah, pretty much. Because it gave us it's not that much of a good structure, but it's a range, right? And then price broke out of the range. So if we are looking at this way, if we say, let's say we had a range here, right? And then inside our range, instead of price coming back all the way down, right, it started creating higher lows. So that's pushing price up. So when it broke out, you know how we say if price breaks out, it would be nice to see a range above so that it does the whole accumulation whatnot to push price higher. That's what it's doing right now. So the next step that I can only expect is price to push all the way up to this level. So since price closed with a bullish candle on the previous hour, and this is the first 30 minutes, someone would actually set their buy stops above, and New York opens in 30 minutes, so it could work because New York opening might come with volume, so that could push price higher. It could work. Yes. Do you have any questions?
For now, no.
Yes.
I'm just writing all the things down.
I think that would actually work.
With the buy stop.
Yeah, the buy stop. But then since New York is opening in 30 minutes, that means we still have a little bit of time. I would very much like to see price make a lower wick on this 1 hour candle. If it made a lower wick on this 1 hour candle, that would actually push price higher because it would have retraced a little bit on this 1 hour candle, right, to push price higher. Right now, we just did a wick fill, but it didn't really do much. So I would like to see that wick down for price to push higher. But knowing this pair, and I don't know much about it, but I definitely know that it's not like the other pairs. So it might not need that lower wick for price to push higher. But the setup is there.
Mm-hmm.
The setup is there.
Okay.
Yes. I think the other pair was gbpcad. Should we do gbpcad?
Yeah, if you like.
All right.
It's okay with me.
All right, let's do gbpcad. I actually used to like this pair. I used to like this pair because of these candles. But then the thing is, when it decides to range, it ranges a lot. Ooh. It's like a bitch. Let's go on the weekly. Let's see what I'm talking about. Like there's nothing. It's just ranging.
Yeah, it was ranging the whole 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, actually.
That
damn.
From 2016.
That's a long
And even
range.
if you look at these candles, they are literally right next to each other. And that's a monthly time frame. Ooh. Okay. Let's use what we have. Let's put our high. I'll put my low. I don't know why, but that's always helpful. When I put a high, I put a low, then I put a high, then I put a low. I don't put highs, and then lows. I don't know why, but it works.
Yeah, maybe because of your routine.
Yeah, technically. And I put a low right here. We have a high and a low right here. If it breaks that low, it would go to this low. If it breaks the high, it would go to this high. That's our monthly. Let's look at our weekly. Let's just adjust this. And then we adjust this. All right, there's one thing that other people seem not to understand. So when I see, you remember like this was here, right? But then I moved it down here because a zone is not a line, it's an area, right? So since this is very close to this, I'm just gonna put this covering everything. So let's say you were looking to highlight your area where you want to take profits, right? Let's say you enter a sell. I would suggest you take your first profits or most of your profits on this low, because since this whole area is a zone, price could just react to this one and not come down down all the way to the actual low. So you can protect the rest and then you can wait for price to reach the actual low, but after you have taken most of your profits already. So I hope people understand that. All right, the daily time frame. We're on the weekly right now. Also, you see how this pay is going up, right? So let's say we came on your markets right now and you're seeing markets trending like this, right? And you don't know how to place your your zones properly. Always look for, if market is trending, always look what did it break, because for it to trend it would have broken some sort of range or resistance. So always look to see what did it break, so that you don't get into an unnecessary buy when price needs to retest an area first. So always look to say what did it break. Like for right now, I'm seeing this strong bullish candle, right? But it hasn't closed. So I would ask myself, where did it break? Because I can't buy now without knowing if it retested or hasn't retested. So we'll put or now support where it broke, so that we can see on the lower time frames if it retested or not. Yes, that makes sense. On the daily time frame, yeah, yeah, exactly, you can even see it clearer now here. On the daily time frame, we can see price was ranging around this area, and then price broke out, right? But then price did try retesting, but it really didn't retest it. Price reached an area that's close to it, but it didn't really retest it. So I wouldn't be surprised if price was to reject this high, right? For it to actually come back down to retest before it pushes any higher. So I feel like that's why it's always good to check if price broke out of something before you just enter into the direction of the trend. Because even if it retested on the even on the 4 hour time frame, it didn't really retest. So that brings us back to, now we know that this is an area that it needs to retest, right? What I would suggest you just write needs daily retest, right? Now that's daily time frame analysis, right? Now let's look at it in the with using analysis as people who just came to the market right now and want to trade the 4 hour time frame only. One thing you should always remember, stick to the time frame you are trading. That's one. So that's what I mean, like this is daily time frame analysis. Now this is 4 hour time frame analysis, so you can use both to your advantage. So we know that this is the daily area that needs to be retested, right? And looking at this 4 hour time frame, right, we have a high that has been reached, we have a low around here, right? So if we have a low right here, then we're expecting price to reach this area. But looking at this area, we have clean traffic right here, right? So we're now saying, remember, the area that price is, or the area that we all know that is definitely going to retest, probably has a lot of buy limits. So if those buy limits hit, they're probably going to want to take out their stop losses before price pushes higher. So if price breaks this or support now, it has chances of dropping here before it pushes higher because of the clean traffic. We are using the clean traffic. So we're saying now we can expect price to break this low, right? Because that's the low that it's creating right now. And then from this low, we have clean traffic here. So price could push all the way down here. And then from here, we can even add more positions to complete this retest. So we take some of our profits here, right? And then we know that what's left should be very small, because this is not a definite that it will get there, but we're saying it might get here. So it might not get exactly to this area, but maybe halfway. Similar to what happened with gold. So it might not complete the full traffic, but it will complete the retest. It will definitely complete, and then it might break down a little bit before it pushes higher to take out everyone's stop losses with who had buy limits at the retest. So we have we actually have a trade right here. If we were to go on our 1 hour time frame, we do have some sort of structure. I really don't like the tiny candles, but we do have some sort of structure. So price did create a low right here. So if you were to get a bearish candle that will close in this week, that would actually push price all the way to this support. That's all we need, a bearish candle that will close into this week, because price fell, right? And then now we have tiny bullish candles. That means there is no bullish pressure at all. And we also have card news later, a lot of it, so that could actually really drive price down. Yeah, that would actually really drive price down all the way down here. Yeah, just keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind. I'm not sure what time it is, but I would come maybe 30 minutes earlier. So if we were to come maybe 30 minutes or 15 minutes earlier, right, then you are looking for this. You're saying price is a high here, right? And normally just before news, they push price higher, right, so that they can get a good entry to push price lower. So if we were to come back 30 minutes before news, maybe we can do a stream actually before the news, right? We are looking to see if price pushes into this area. If price pushes into this area, right, we can actually enter before the news comes out. But if it doesn't, then we will wait for the news to come out to see price come down into this range, and then we will enter for it to fall. But the market structure and what the daily time frame is telling us, and considering that we have news later, it could support it. Because even on the daily time frame, if we are to use the whole market fell, right, consolidated, probably people had a lot of sales here, so they probably wanted to take out their stop losses. So this was the next area price needed to come and retest before it drops. So, well, it's all making sense.
Also, like a fake out,
Yeah, yes,
something
exactly.
like that. Yeah.
take
Mm-hmm.
out take out everyone's stop losses, and then they use news as a way to push price down. Because
Okay, that makes sense.
if price was really bullish, right, this,
Mm-hmm.
with the way it closed, right, it should have pushed price up already. Price
True.
up already with the way it closed. We should have seen maybe even a week above. Just a week above, we would have seen something that was showing bullish pressure. And if we go on the 1 hour time frame, we can see how price was creating strong bullish candles, and then all of a sudden tiny weak candles, right? And then price dropped, and the bullish candles, they're supposed to be big, but they are still tiny bullish candles. So that's really telling us that price wants to drop.
Mm-hmm. So there's no volume to the upside.
Exactly. It's like what happened on pound yen. I'll put pound yen. If you look at pound yen, right, we were expecting it to get to this area. You can see how price came with fire, like it was strong, and then all of a sudden very tiny candles. And then remember that bullish candle, or that one last strong candle that reverses everything. That's the candle. Because if price was printing these tiny candles, right, and then you see this big candle, right, it's better to wait and then just sell the moment price goes below that big bullish candle, because that's the fake out, and that's the one that's taking out everyone's stop losses and also tricking people into buying, because people were expecting this to keep on going up.
Mm-hmm.
Then,
Yeah.
and when they saw this candle, I'm pretty sure a lot of people entered. But this is the 4 hour. This is actually very nice. Even if you, I'm not sure if you saw the video, but we even said we analyzed it from the weekly. We got that analysis from the weekly actually. or that rejection from the weekly, because we said price reached a high right here, right? And then it created support right here. Then we had this candle that was rejecting, right? And then we had price push high, and then it made a new high, right? After it made a new high, instead of price retesting this area, right, and pushing higher, it actually dropped and closed below. So that was our first signs that price had high chances of dropping. And then this candle, the following candle, right? This is the weekly time frame, and look how small that candle is. So there wasn't really any bullish pressure. So we considered that price could be creating a range around this area, right? Considering that we have this candle and this one is also similar, even though it doesn't have enough bullish pressure, they are similar. So we're expecting price to push up before it drops. So that push up was supported by the daily time frame structure. If you look on the daily time frame, right, price was ranging here. So we had highlighted our range, right? And then we're saying, okay, from our knowledge, we know that price could push above to take out everyone's stop losses before it pushes lower. So having that knowledge in our mind, right, we were expecting this week, the beginning of this week, to break out from, I'll put the range, to break out from this range, right, to push price into this area before it can push price lower. So that's what we were expecting price to do on Monday and Tuesday, and it did exactly like that. I'm not sure if the people who saw the video put any sell limits around this area. They mostly don't, but it worked. And now price is pushing price lower. So the next area we just need for it to fully confirm that it's going to drop to our weekly week fill right here. See, I even highlighted. We just need price to break this low. So this is our first support that needs to be broken, and then this is the low that needs to be broken for price to drop all the way to make a weak fill, which I can't wait to see happen because I told everyone. All right, on the 1 hour time frame, right? If you're looking to trade this pair on the 1 hour time frame, I'm actually looking out for this trade. I actually really like this trade. We have resistance, which is our weekly high, which was tested and rejected, and we have support that price created, and after that support, we have clean traffic all the way down here. So I'm expecting price to break this low, to come to this low, and then give me something that will come to up to here. So I understand that price could reach this low, right? But I'm going to be careful about that. That trade that will reach that low, right, would be very much protected because price might have an order block around here. So what's showing me that price might have an order block, right, is you see how price made that strong candle that just drops and rejects. The same thing that we see here is the same thing that happened at the bottom. So after it did that, right, it created the bullish candle and then it created a bearish candle. This bearish candle was creating resistance. So instead of price just immediately like going all the way to the weekly low, it might reject here first, come all the way to retest, and then it will drop to the weekly low. Is it making sense?
Wait a moment. Yeah, makes sense to me. Thanks.
I can redo it if you want.
Oh, no, it's okay. It's okay.
So if this candle is to close this bearish, right, someone would enter right now, but just know that it's risky. But if price breaks this low, or if it closes with a strong bearish candle at this low, I'm definitely entering to target the next low and that short next low, but hoping that price will reach the next low. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. Anyways, I think that's it for today.
Yeah, that was much information.
All right, I hope you follow up the trades. I think I wrote some of the information down, so I'll try and gather all of it up for you.
All right,
All right.
that would be great. Oh, and NZD/USD is still ranging.
Yeah, that's literally all they do. That's literally it. But yeah, watch it out. Watch out for it.
It's a patience game.
Yes, yes.
All right. Thank you for this session.
You're welcome. I hope you have a good lesson and a good day.
See you. Have a good day.
You too.
Thanks again.
You're welcome.